Peace and blessings is real. First and foremost, I want to take this time and give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh through his only begotten Son, Yahweh for allowing this word to come out. And I hope you sincere brothers and sisters is edified by this word. And the name of the lesson is called Living in Someone Else's Home. You will experience the taste of humiliation and sound of bitter words. Let me say it again. The name of the lesson tonight is going to be Living in Someone Else's Home. You will experience the taste of humiliation and sound of bitter words. In this word tonight, man, we're going to deal with differentiating from living in your own home and being treated with hospitality. And I'm going to just tell you now, it's best if you have your own home than to live in someone else's home. I think we all have at some point in life experienced this, or on one side of the spectrum or the other. Either you lived in someone else's home, whether it was temporary or whatnot, or someone lived in your home, whether it was a friend, family member, even a close co-worker sometimes. But what you find out is when you live in someone else's home, man, it ends up being a very, very bad experience, man. It's let's just get into this word, man. But we all have either lived in someone else's home, and when you lived in someone else's home, you experienced the taste of humiliation and sound of bitter words. I know me personally, when I first moved to Milwaukee in '82 from Mississippi, man, me, my brother, and my mother, we stayed with my auntie for 2 weeks until we got our own place. And in those 2 weeks, man, we experienced the taste of humiliation and the sound of bitter words, man. So I know if I was able to experience this at 8 years old, I know it's others that can relate to this. We're going to come to you in the Apocrypha in Sirach, okay, which is Ecclesiasticus chapter 29, verses 21 through 28. The King James Version is always the creme de la creme version of the Bible. But tonight, I want to give you the Jerusalem Bible version of the scriptures of Sirach 29, verses 21 and 28, because it's much clearer and it's plain, man. But feel free to go along in the King James as I go through these scriptures, and in the Jerusalem version, it's just a little more clear, man. But I hope you sincere brothers is edified by this word, and I'm sure a lot of y'all will be able to relate to this, or at least you know somebody that relates to this word tonight. In Sirach 29, verse 21, it says, the first thing in life is water and bread and clothing and a house for the sake of privacy. In other words, man, the most important thing is making sure you got your daily necessities, aka your daily bread, and having a roof over your head. Okay, that's the first thing in life you want to establish. Your daily bread, your daily necessities, and a roof over your head. And this in verse 22 is going to tell you why that's very important. In verse 22, it says, better a poor man's life under a roof of planks than lavish fare in the house of another, man. So it's better, man, for you to live in a shack or a poorly conditioned home or a low-level home, okay? It's better for you to live in that than deal with the elaborate, luxurious, expensive charge, okay, of living in someone else's home. You see? Verse 23, it says, whether you have little or much, be content with it, and you will not be dubbed an intruder. You will not be dubbed a trespasser or a thief or a violator. You see what's on the screen? An intruder. This is exactly what's going to happen to you, okay, when you don't be content with what you have, okay? Because it says, whether you have little or much, be content with it, and you will not be dubbed an intruder. In other words, man, if you got a shack poorly conditioned home, or lower level home, a home that ain't much to breathe, that ain't much to sneeze about, be content with that, because that's your home. Okay, you can't be a trespasser and a thief and a violator of your own home. You see that? So when you got your daily bread and you got a roof over your head, you winning. And even if your roof over your head is not the best house on the block, or it's a shack poorly conditioned home, guess what? It beats you paying elaborate, luxurious, expensive charge of rent for living with somebody else. And like I say in verse 23, whether you got a nice house or not, be content with what you do have. That way a person ain't gonna dub you as an intruder. And we all know that, those that have lived with someone have experienced that, being treated as an intruder. Something come up missing in the house, guess who's gonna be to blame? You. Something go wrong in the house, something becomes missing in the house, guess who the blame gonna go? You guessed it. It's gonna be you. Verse 24, it says, it is a miserable life going from house to house, wherever you stay, not daring to open your mouth. You see that? You going house to house, whoever will let you stay temporarily, and at the same time, you quiet as a church mouse, being forced not to speak up for yourself as you go house to house, because you don't want to upset nobody and get kicked out. So now you can't even speak up for yourself. That's a miserable way to live, when people mistreat you and you can't even check them for mistreating you because you living in their house, man. And you ain't got nowhere else to go, so you settle for that. What's the name of the lesson, man? Living in someone else's home, you will experience the taste of humiliation and sound of bitter words, man. In verse 25, it reads, you are a stranger. You know the taste of humiliation, not to mention the sound of embittering words. So when you live with someone else, not only are you a stranger, not only are you an intruder, but you're going to experience shame, embarrassment. They're going to put a clown suit on you, and then they're going to speak to you with nastiness of words, resentment of words, painful words, harsh words, man. They're going to treat you bogus, man. And I know what that's like. Even at 8 years old, I experienced that, man. So Rock 29:26, it says, come along, stranger, lay the table. If you have anything with you, give it to me to eat. Verse 27, go away, stranger. Make room for someone important. My brother is coming to stay. I need the house. And in verse 28, it says, it is hard for a cultured man to hear himself begrudged hospitality and treated like an undischarged debtor. You see that? So you're gonna be humiliated, man, and clowned. You see that? You're going to be denied hospitality, man, begrudged hospitality, and treated like an undischarged debtor, man. So the best thing you should do is be happy and content if you have a home. It's best that you have a home of your own than to live with someone else, man. I've seen this over and over and over. You got people that fall on hard times, or whatever the case may be, like you got like my former best friend, man. Him and his girlfriend had a real nice home, and they broke up. So because the home was in her name, he relocated one part of Texas to another part of Texas, and he went from having his own home to living in someone else's home, which was his auntie. and you see, that didn't go well. You know what I'm saying? That didn't go well at all. So whether you have a nice house or a not so nice house, it's your house. Be content with that. Because if not, your ass gonna go through it living in somebody else's house. Your ass gonna go through it, man. I'm telling you. You're gonna be looking just like old boy on the screen. You're gonna be looked at and treated as an intruder. You see? What's the name of the lesson, man? Living in someone else's home, you will experience the taste of humiliation and sound of bitter words, man. I'm telling you, man, this is cold-blooded. I hope you sincere brothers and sisters was edified by this word, and we give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh through his only begotten son, Yahushua, for allowing this word to come out, man. Shalom.